to a new age, a new world.
It's
new
a
year,
dawn,
new me, new us,
it's
new
a
president.
New day, and we're feeling good. John Legend actually just did that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just did the Nina Simone. I'm feeling good. Is that the song's called? Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It was great. He sang right after Kamala's speech. So yeah, basically we're recording this on Inauguration Day. It's January 20th, and
it is.
We are new. We are born again.
This is Molly speaking. I didn't get to watch it today because I was working, and so you'll hear me ask some, ignorant questions to Alyssa about what she thought and what her favorite part was. I heard clips of it on NPR. I heard like a little bit of the poet. Of course, I've seen pieces of it online, but I didn't get to watch it live, and just got home a little while ago. So
first of all,
yes.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say today is our exact 1-year anniversary of our launch party of SOS.
Yeah, we aired our first 3 episodes today, had our launch party today. And
that was so fun.
It was so fun. We should talk a little bit about that launch party. I think we did already, but we can just reminisce some more and whatever. You guys will have FOMO, right?
Remember when that was a thing? It honestly feels like FOMO? 6 years ago. Yeah. No, when just parties and launch parties and get-togethers.
But also just the feeling of FOMO. I don't even think anybody will ever have that feeling of just I should have been there. It's no one ever thinks that anymore. It's I should always be here. I should never be here.
I should never be anywhere else. I never really got FOMO that bad.
Me neither.
It just kind of
we talked about that.
Yeah, we have talked about this. Yeah. It just kind of if I don't want to go, I don't want to go.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Listen, if I'm there, that's the place to be. If I'm not, it's not.
It's not the place to be. You know what is the place to be? Pajamas in my own damn house. Where
with
I
a
pay
big
my
old
rent.
goblet of wine.
I pay enough fucking rent for this place. I might as well use it to as much
for
as
real.
I can.
I make this shit look beautiful.
Anyway.
I'm going to sit in it.
Exactly.
And drink my wine.
Anyway, yes, we're drinking. I've been drinking all day since 7 a.m. because my friend Aaron, shout out Aaron, he woke me up at 7 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Called me because at first I was going to wake up around 8:15 to see the party would already start, the inauguration, but I'll miss the beginning stuff. Nope, he woke me up at 7 and I was like, whatever, I gotta get up. I was like, fuck it, it's already late, it's too late, I gotta get up. So I basically got a drink ready, I got my coffee ready, and then first of all,
would you have a mimosa and coffee?
So I've been drinking this all day. I've been drinking, you know what this is from actually? It's the champagne rosé that was from my bridal lunch that you guys threw for me. Still have the bottles.
So fun.
So I popped it myself, and I mixed it with grapefruit juice.
See, I have to say, for you and your level of alcohol tolerance, I'm shocked that you're still standing.
Because I know, and I it's a little bit every day. Yeah, when I say I'm drinking all day, it's oh, you had 2 glasses today, Alyssa. Great, but that's a lot for me. All right.
Yeah, guys, give her a break. By guys, I mean me.
Actually,
I'll give you a break. Yeah, that's really nice.
I've had 2.5.
I just poured a glass of wine, so we're getting it in. Also, you guys, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the fashion of the show, but the inauguration.
Okay, tell me.
Everything. It's everything. Kamala had a beautiful purple look. Hillary too. It's the suffragette. It's the suffragette purple. Classic. Fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. The purple and blue hues. I love it.
Lady Gaga walking out looking like Katniss Everdeen. But I liked it. She had a big, it's not a Mockingjay pin, but it looked like the big Mockingjay from Hunger Games. And then she had this big red balloon skirt. It was a look, and I'm here for it. But she
performed? I don't even.
Hell yeah. And she had her hair up in braids too, which gave more of a Katniss vibe. Hell yeah, she did the national anthem.
Oh.
I love her. Love her. God love her. She was a little pitchy, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't even care.
Speaking of pitchy, J-Lo performed.
Oh no, was it bad?
God love her. I love her. I would die for these women. I would literally take a bullet for these women. But okay. Can I explain to you, J-Lo?
Yes, please. I'm intrigued.
Fucking beautiful, head to toe, all white look. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
We were waiting. We were
of
just
course.
on like the edges of our seats, waiting for her to just rip it off and like become like a nude jumpsuit. I was waiting for her to take it off. She was singing, what's the song? America, I think not America the Beautiful. What's the This Land Is Your Land, This Land is our land.
I don't know what that's called, but
I think that was the song she was singing. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. I remember singing the lyrics. This land was stolen for you and me.
Yep.
I was like, this song is
for real
triggering.
Yeah.
I think my sister made that joke. I stole it from her. Shout out. But yeah, and it's so funny. I was in like so many different group chats, and one of them was like a lot of friends from school and from college, and they were like, I'm waiting for her to just sing the song Get Loud. You know her song, Let's Get Loud.
Oh, yeah,
We're just like, we want her to sing like one of her bops. Come on, J-Lo, sing one of her bops. She was also auto-tuned to hell, but I love her. Would take a bullet. She's singing, she's like, you know, this is from California. This land was made for you and me. Let's get loud. And then just like, screw, let's get loud. And then goes, this land was made for you and me. It was, I don't, maybe if you weren't, because we were already being like, sing, let's get loud. And then it happened and we were like, holy shit, we're fucking wizards. So maybe it was more of a seamless transition for plebes.
See, I don't think that I have a couple issues with that. One is, can we get rid of the tired old racist patriotic, quote unquote, patriotic songs that we sing? Like,
we gotta get rid of all
I know
of
there's
them.
tradition. I know there's tradition, but like at the end of the day, this shit is the songs that we sing. Have you ever torn back into the lyrics? Like the third verse of our national anthem is like super fucked up. So that alone,
it's
can we
all
just get
of
rid
it.
of that stuff?
I'm tired
all
of
of it.
This. I'm tired of I pledge allegiance to the flag. I'm tired.
No.
That's creepy to me. Standing for the national anthem is creepy to me. I like the idea of standing for troops that fight for us, but also what we make troops do is super problematic in itself. So like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't want them to die, but I also like, I don't want to be like, let's kill people for oil, like, and then call it patriotism. Tangent. That's J-Lo.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff. I also just like think that it's very weird. I don't know. At an inauguration, like those songs annoy me. Obviously, like we just went over, but also it's not really a place for like a pop star's independent hits either. So like, why?
I don't know. Maybe it is. I would take that over This land was made for you. I would take Let's Get Loud over that.
I would too. It just seems like a random weird. It's almost like it's like the Super Bowl show. Like
100%.
Who gets selected and what they. It's just kind of all weird to me.
It's been like that. I think it's so different now too because the juxtaposition here is that in 2016 they had like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, like literally.
My God, I forgot.
They are the ones that sang the things that like J-Lo and Gaga sing. So like, I'll take J-Lo and Gaga and their pitching. I don't give a shit, but. I guess, it's just weird. It's like, I don't know if I'd rather take these old,
it's weird. I think I'd
tunes.
rather hear like old Ray Charles or Aretha Franklin or like that kind of music that's like at the heart of the country and like also relates to the struggle of Black America in the history of our country, and there's still classics that everyone loves. I feel like that's a better direction.
They did that for the nighttime portion of the night. That just ended like I think 45 minutes ago. They did that. They did more songs with more classics with variety and
like
diversity.
Nina Simone, you said.
But and it's great there. So why not do it for it? But just these old white people would just clutch the fuck out of their pearls. Michelle Obama.
Oh, she looked beautiful.
Amazing. Her hair, her belt, everything just fucking slayed.
Yeah, she looked gorgeous. She's a classic.
Who else are my favorites? I love Jill. Dr. Jill looked amazing. Gorgeous in a sparkly blue, and I loved her necklace. Kamala, you know what was so fucking funny? number one trending on Twitter was Kamala's niece. Do you know Kamala's niece, Mina Harris?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Her husband wore Air Force Jordan's Dior ones, which is basically like in the sneaker community, they're like the Beyonce of sneakers. They're like Dior ones are like
for
fucking
sure.
it. And he wore those. So there was like the number one trending at the inauguration.
As he should.
As it should.
As he
They're
should.
like, holy shit, the drip is in the White House. And it's so true. Who else? The grandkids had amazing outfits on, just monochrome, gorgeous head to toe. Kamala's stepdaughter wore this like gorgeous like plaid coat with crystals coming off the shoulders. It was just fabulous.
See, this is like the fun stuff because we still will, and we already have in this 11 minutes so far, but we get heavy with stuff. But like recently, and especially our last episode about the Capitol riots, like you all know, we get intense, we get heavy, we get into some deep stuff, even when we don't say that we're going to. But, you know, we also are both just a bunch of fashion nerds, and this stuff is fun. This is so fun.
I live
like,
for a fucking moment. Live.
Yeah.
And
like we are given these bodies to express ourselves, to decorate, to express ourselves.
Make a statement. Say something.
Live your life. Live your life. Be joyful. Wear what you want. Make a statement. Make an impact. Do it for you. It's so
Do
fun.
it for our country.
Do it for our country. But like the feeling that you get when you're, you know, like when you're a little kid, all little kids do this, and then we like train it out of them to be self-conscious and to not, it's conceited if you look in the mirror and say you look good, you know. But like all little kids, you know, when they get like new shoes or they just love their outfit, they stand in front of the mirror and they just like smiling and turn it around, and we're like, oh, that's so cute, it's so cute. And then somewhere along the line it becomes this like, oh, you're vain, oh, you're shallow, oh, you're not serious, we can't take you seriously.
We project.
Like, what?
All adults do is project their own insecurities onto their children, whether if they're dressing in something that they're confident, they could be dressing in like a son could be dressing in their mother's clothes and they fucking smack them or aggressive, but like whatever, they just get in trouble for it. I'm like, what picture I'm painting here.
What are you holding on to, Alyssa?
I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh about that shit. I'm drinking. I'm painting a picture.
Like,
okay,
leave me alone.
But it's just all projection, and stop it. Stop.
I know.
The beautiful moments. What else was funny? Oh, of course, Amanda Gorman was amazing. Her poetry. She looked fabulous too.
She did, yeah.
Head to toe.
She did.
It was just great. And this is what it's so funny. Like, I'm reading all these articles and like talking to my friends today, and it's just, and my family, and it's just what today was competency porn, because they started off with this totally normal. I mean, like Trump wasn't there, so that's why it was normal. Inauguration with all their fucking pomp and circumstance, and then they go to then they go right to work. They walk to the White House, and then he signed 17 executive orders to get shit done for racial equity, for the Paris Climate Accord, the pipeline. Thank God. Immigrants, like more protections for dreamers. We got back into the WHO, and it's like, oh, thank God. And then they swore in Alex Padilla, who was our new senator, and then they did Ossoff and Warnock, and then they went into the night portion. So they got to work, and then we had a press conference. It was like so normal. So I really enjoy politics. This is the thing. Like, I love West Wing. Like, I love just fucking like porn, like politics porn. I don't know. Competency porn. Like, porn? It was amazing. The tangents from me today. But no, it was just so great to see like smart people getting things done.
Oh my God. Just like
for the first time in 4 years.
The fact that this was, we took it for granted, and hopefully now that it's been taken away and hopefully restored, it was like a little, we will not take it for granted from here on out, because even when there were presidents that I didn't agree with, like when Bush was in office, and we were young, but like I remember, my parents disagreeing with him and having these conversations, but at the end of the day, he was diplomatic. He was presidential, whatever that really means, but like he was a career politician. He respected the office to a degree that we took for granted, like, you know, and just like the idea now the two-party system, which is so antiquated, but two parties were more divided than ever, because when you think Republican, you think Trump supporters, even though that's not all Republicans. And then when you think
Mostly,
Democrats,
yeah.
I don't know, people think like super, you know, cancel culture, super sensitive.
We're
And
radicals.
most people are in the middle of those two extremes. And at the end of the day, you know, like, I just miss when there was a time where you could have the opposite party that you support could have the president, but
Yeah.
it's still like, I still knew that there were going to be respectful conversations had with world leaders, whether or not they did what I would have wanted them to do. It's just like all these things that we took for granted, that hopefully it's just like this massive breath of fresh air to just be like, oh, thank God someone else is at the helm right now and someone else is representing us, and the rest of the world doesn't have to deal with his hurtful
Bullshit.
and disrespectful bullshit.
Yeah. There was speaking of that and like mental health in general, of like what we've been through. Like, I think I saw someone said today, like, I feel like we've just gotten released from a hostage situation for 4 years.
Yes. Wow. It is like that.
This one, I got this one tweet that I wanted to share with everybody that was, it rang true for me, and I'm sure you too. It's like, a thing to know about trauma is that physical symptoms don't usually show up until after your nervous system understands you to be relatively safe. So be very gentle with yourself and aware of how you feel in your body over the next few months. And it's also like, hello, Age of Aquarius is like a new era as well. There's a lot of reasons why people should
Aquarius
be feeling
season is
fucking
here.
crazy right now. Like, it's just a new fucking chapter, and we're all getting used to it in our bodies and our minds and our souls. So like, be cool. It'll be, we're going to be okay.
I mean, the Age of Aquarius is here to save us all.
Oh my God. I mean,
as the Aquarian in the group, I will say, don't worry.
I got you.
It only goes up from here. I got you.
Oh God, thank God. I mean, something has to end. A really good moment too. He was like swearing in, and usually this is done in person. All like the White House staff and agency and all these White House agencies would be sworn in person. But of course, because of COVID, it was all done via Zoom. And he does it like a speech beforehand while over Zoom. Everyone like takes the oath to work for the White House. And in his speech, he was like, I'm excited to work with everybody. We're going to do, I picked you for a reason, your hard work and all this and the talent and da-da. But if I ever see you mistreat each other or be disrespectful to your colleagues or the people you serve, I will fire you on the spot. I will fire you on the spot. No ifs, ands, or buts if you're disrespectful.
Wow.
He's like, there's been a lack of disrespect in this White House, in this country, and it's changing. And it was kind of hot. I'm not going to lie. It was like, like, he was just like,
no,
I will
you did not just say
you.
that.
Fuck yeah, I said that shit. Like, I don't know. What do you want me to do?
Let me just say,
my best.
Let me just say, I love how that sounds, but let's see.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Because that's always how it is. And then now, especially, it's easy now because we're all so fed up and so like, oh my God, just tell me what I want to hear. Oh my God, thank God it's all back to normal. But like, he's still a politician. He's still Joe Biden. And I'm glad that he's there. Thank the Lord. But like every single thing, that's a bold statement. What do you just define as disrespect? Are you going to walk in and just fire someone because like, what about how
he's talking about like
AOC was
racism and he's talking about injustice. He's talking about like,
I know that, but I mean like AOC, how she was spoken to by some of her colleagues, like what level of disrespect are you talking? Are you going to go in that next day and fire him? You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like,
yeah,
let's see what you mean.
Yeah. If he worked in the White House, probably, I would say he'd probably get fired. But I just like, if you're setting the tone like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And to call out white supremacy, as he's done multiple times by name, not shied away from it, not talked around it and implied that he's talking about whites. He says white supremacy in this country, and systemic racism. He said both of those terms, which I know like people are like, oh, well, words, I don't know. It actually really matters that the leader of our country acknowledges those terms by name and that they currently exist and have existed. That is huge.
And it will not go away just because Biden is president, and it's here to stay, and we all have to do work still every day because these fucking motherfuckers are still around. They're not going away. They're still
everywhere.
I forget the fucking percentage of Republicans that are still Trump supporters, but it's the majority. Like the Republican Party isn't as disjointed as like we want to think. You know what I mean? There's not like these moderates. No, it's mostly Republicans. Like I think it was like 65% think that the election was still stolen to this day, and I would still vote for Trump again to this day, even after the insurrection.
65% of Trump supporters or of Republicans?
Of Republicans.
That's scary.
I mean, I give or take that percentage, like the exact I'm throwing out, but like it's a large percentage. Like I don't know what to do with these people, especially when like Fox News is still saying shit like just today tonight after all this shit, like he's just calling for unity and unity, and they're just like, no, he's a communist. No, he wants unity.
Well, the thing
has
is,
to be a
like,
socialist.
you can't force people to elevate emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. You just can't. And so the most we can ask for, we can't expect them to have an epiphany, have a coming to Jesus moment, have empathy, have compassion, get rid of all their they got to die off. These people got to die off. They're not just gonna be gone right away. B, like, the most we can do is take control of these positions of power as we have and go from there. We cannot eliminate those crazy racist motherfuckers because they're everywhere. It's what our country is built on. We are built on it. We are all a product of it. Like,
hell yeah.
We are all a part of that. We're all a part of the white supremacy system, whether or not we believe in it, just the same way that like we're all a part of the patriarchy. Even men who don't think that it's the right thing, they're a part of it too. It's just the way that it is. And so I think, you know, when we're looking at like, oh, what about we can do with all these people? Like, they're just here. They've always been here. They're going to be here. They're going to slowly die off, and we got to just move forward and do what we can do.
Yeah, slowly die off, but also, I actually don't know. I don't know what the fucking, because they're also young. They're also like fucking our age too. These motherfuckers that stormed the Capitol. So
of course there are some. Yeah,
I guess we'll have to die off
for
too.
Sure.
It's like all of us. It's basically we won't see it in our generation.
Like,
which is so sad.
It's going to be like beyond our lifetime. You know, things shift, but they shift slowly in the grand scheme of things, and we see big dips and big peaks. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, I don't even know, when you're talking racism, the only time I see racism I don't see ending. The only time I see it not being an issue is when the whole world is brown, which is going to be in however many years, because and if there's different color people, if there's different color people existing, I think unfortunately history has proven across countries, across nations, across cultures, racism exists. And it's not something that we can just hope to eliminate, especially in this country, because we are at the depths of it. But, you know, eventually we're all going to be some same shade of brown, which I think is unfortunate. I like the beauty and diversity, but apparently our species can't handle it. So it's not going to be till that day that racism isn't prevalent.
I'm excited.
I can't wait for that day. We'll be dead, but I can't wait.
And that's why representation fucking matters. So do your best to educate yourself on your local politicians, because it starts locally. You know, if you really want legislation to mean something and you want people to get it done and you trust in them, educate yourself on who you vote for. And also, like, today we voted in the first female vice president, the first black vice president, the first black female vice president, the first president of Asian descent, the first, or vice president of Asian descent, first vice president female of Asian descent. It's like, it's so many fucking ceilings were broken today, and it's just the fucking beginning. There was like a beautiful shot of Obama and her like embracing and like right after they were sworn in. It was great.
Wow.
And it's just like,
that's the thing. Like, you know, I know these images are going all over Instagram and it's sentimental and sweet, but like of, you know, little girls in front of the TV. But that's what brought me to complete tears when she won. Like I knew it was a big moment. I was moved, but I didn't even expect the level of like emotion that I felt when she accepted and like made her speech. And just was like, you know what? Because my parents are always, they've always voted. They're always very informed and involved. And we would watch the debates, and they liked my whole life, you know, and you just know who your parents want. But like, I do remember, you know, I watch it and I'm interested, but I'm like, I see nothing of myself here. Of course, white. I see white people up there, obviously. But like, I'm just speaking as a female. It's like, okay, so these are the people. It's always these people that are vying for this power, but no one who even no one who resembles me or who experiences the world like I do in this way is ever even in the running. Like even at the first debate when there's like 12 people up there, like never. And then just to realize like that was absorbing all those years. And I'm watching this, and you're watching these white men fight for power over and over and over. And sometimes the good guy wins, sometimes the bad guy wins. But at the end of the day, it's like, there was no place for us there. And little girls watching that, you and me, like our age, it was never even an option. And it brings me completely to tears to be like, oh my God, like there's young girls and like middle school, high school, watching this being like, because, you know, my parents thankfully raised me to like believe I could do whatever I want. But at the end of the day, you still don't have anything to look at. That's why everything matters. Like representation matters, and seeing yourself up there matters.
For
and
you,
Black girls, and Black girls seeing that and not just being told you can do it, but being like, wow, you know, for a lot of people, seeing is believing, and it's like, wow, I can do that. Like I actually can. You know, it's even ties into something as seemingly disjointed as like when they created Black Barbies, like how big or Black dolls of any kind for little girls to have, like. What a novel idea. Like you take care of, it's just like, how dumb are we, honestly? But I don't want to go too dark with it, because at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this is beautiful and it's emotional, and it's just like, oh my God, like finally some estrogen in power.
Oh my God. Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
And not as in power, and not as somebody's wife, not as the first lady.
No, like
the
actual
vice
like, making
president.
Decisions. Yeah. I loved it.
Gives me chills.
Oh God, it just also, you know, before it's like it pissed me off because her husband Doug, his Twitter bio was like husband of Kamala and da da da, and like some fucking like prominent Republican tweeted being like, oh, how emasculating is this? Like, how pathetic. And it's just like,
oh my God.
Is it what is it, gay to have a wife with a cool job? Is it like, what the fuck are you talking about?
To support your wife? To support your wife? Like, I don't, that is just, I mean, those, to me, what needs to happen, because like we're saying, we can't get rid of those people. They're always there. They're there. There's ignorant fucks everywhere. Sorry, Mom, I use the F word a lot on this episode. But
does she not like when we curse?
What?
Does she not like when we curse?
No, she doesn't say anything. I'm just like, she listens every week. Fuck. No, she doesn't get down on me for it at all. But no, so those people who are making those stupid comments and people who are just extremely racist, misogynistic, they're not going anywhere. But at the end of the day, hopefully with this new administration, because those comments were all, A, they were coming from the administration, but B, because they were coming from the administration, they were being dignified with responses. For 4 years, people were responding to these misogynistic, racist, childish things that they were saying. And now, when someone says something that stupid, like you said on Twitter, like, oh, that's emasculate, you know what? We're above that. Everyone there is above that. You can keep saying it. You will, because you are who you are. But like, that doesn't dignify a response anymore. Yeah. We don't have to respond to that stuff anymore because our president isn't the one saying it.
I know. I thought that too. I was like, maybe, will I not have to get into fights with trolls anymore online? What?
Right. That's probably going to go way down.
But I don't know, because my sister she's like, oh no, why did I do this? I'm like, what'd you do? She's like, I went on Amanda Gorman, who was the poet laureate that recited the poem today. I went on her Instagram and she's just getting hurled, trolls are like hurling the racist shit at her Twitter and her Instagram. And she started getting into fights with trolls there. And I'm like, resist, Alyssa, resist. And I did, but it's just like,
I think
come on.
There's always going to be some racist person to fight with. And the way I look at it is, and there are plenty of times when it is worth it to fight back. On Twitter, on Instagram, it's not. If I'm at a restaurant and some shit's going down, if I'm on the street and something's going down, I'm getting involved then. and I protect my energy. And when I'm online, not to say I haven't ever, there are times where, especially if it's someone I know or someone close to me and I get real pissed off, I'll come back at you. But
you gotta pick them.
Every single little thing, you gotta pick them. You gotta protect your energy, and you do have to pick them, because when you do decide to get involved, it has to do something. It has to be for a reason. And for me, I'd rather have it be in person when someone's life is actually in danger, or they're just being like harassed in person. Like if I'm jumping in, I don't need to jump in on someone's Twitter feed when half the country is already in there, you know?
Yeah.
But it's hard. They're always going to be there. So like you said, you literally have to look at it and be like, I know that I'm going to get involved in this. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to get, my heart rate's going to rise. I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. I'm going to be pissed off. And meanwhile, these racist people who I'm fighting they're chilling. This is going to hurt my night. Whereas when you like are in an in-person situation and you're like, someone's dealing with racist issues on the street, yeah, it's going to fire you up. But this is like their life right now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
you gotta 100% protect your energy, because it's all we got. It's all we got.
It is. It really is. And
these people are sad and they're lonely, and that's why they're trolling to begin with, because
they're pathetic, they're unintelligent. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, the trolls aren't going to go anywhere, but at the end of the day now, our administration is not the trolls. So we don't have to get so involved as we felt we had to before, because we did have to, because they're representing us. Mm-hmm. Now the trolls are still there, but they're not representing us to the entire planet.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big difference. So yeah, we can always still get involved, but I think the responsibility level of those of us who have a good head on our shoulders, whereas we couldn't sit back for the last 4 years because of what was happening.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying sit back now, but I mean, like, now we at least have people in power who are not perpetrating that to that degree.
No.
And we can actually put our energy where it needs to go, which is still towards racist issues, but in a more productive way.
And there can be like a sit back and relax to us. You know what I mean? We shouldn't let our guard completely down, because all of our answers were not solved today. But I think it's, you know, it starts from the top, you know, and we have our president calling countries shithole countries and making fun of disabled people and saying to the Proud Boys to stand by and shit like that. Or, I mean, the list goes on. Grab them by the pussy. You know what I mean? Like, it makes men think that they can do that. It makes uneducated women and insecure women think that that can happen to them. You know, it makes
down. White women, you know, just still stick to that proximity to power,
Exactly.
I'll repeat whatever my racist white boyfriend is saying, because at least I'm close to that type of power. Like, grow the fuck up.
That's some rough shit. And we all know people like that. Anyway.
Yeah, we all know. We know who you are.
But we also want to talk about is it a year?
It's been 1 year to the day. Alyssa and I had our launch party, as a lot of you were there. Honestly, that night, I felt so much love from our friends and community, and just like,
what a great night.
We were both, I knew, because people had responded and I knew people were coming. Well, you were like, what if no one comes? But like, people responded and said they were, but I have to say, it was a huge turnout, and the way that people were responding to us and coming up to us and the things that they were saying, it was like the most love I have felt in a long time from like our whole community. And it was people we've known over the years. Desiree, shout out Desiree from New York. She was in town from New York, one of my best friends, and she came to the party. It was like beautiful.
Melanie just gave birth and came.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my God. We have such a incredible circle of friends and a support system, and you guys still listening, I'm like so deeply grateful, because this project for me, and I'm sure for you, Alyssa, has been such a deeply fulfilling and healing in a lot of ways experience.
100%. I think that has to do with like the anxiety I had that day of the launch party, because you know, I don't normally do things like that. I tend to be more private and like, if you can't, I'm fucking chatty as fuck on this, so I know that's hard to believe, but I, I don't like to do things like this, to start projects. I'm very, I don't know, fear-based. Sucks. But like, and also because I got my, my chart read by Jordan recently, I'm
shout out.
I have a lot of Libra placements, which makes me I'm collaborative. It's all about collaborations with me. So I needed Molly to make this jump, and I think I was so scared of doing it that I was like, oh, no one's going to show up, no one's going to give a shit about what I do, you know. And I cared about it so much. We still, you know, we care about it so much that I felt like if, you know, it didn't go well, that I don't know, that it would be a sign for us or me. But it was the opposite.
I remember you saying the day of, while we were getting ready and people are coming later that night, that you had a dream, or you were thinking the night before, like, what if no one shows up? And I remember being like, that thought had not even crossed my mind once. I was like, what? Like, I don't know how many people,
You're
but
an
like,
Aquarius.
Wait, what?
Got confident.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's let me down, so I don't know. When you said that, I was like, oh, should I be worried about this? But also, it is what it is. It was already like 4 p.m. and people were coming at whatever time. But it was just so much support. And like still throughout the year, and people following, people telling their friends and family, and listening and engaging in these conversations with us, because, and we've said this over and over, it's like a public love letter to you. But at the end of the day, it's like I couldn't do this with anybody else because of the way that your mind works, the things you care about, the things you're passionate about, and they align with me and our sense of humor, and we push each other and we challenge each other, and it's just like, it's a dream.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I need this, like I need you in this so much, just because by nature, I'm so like, doing this by myself or doing with anybody, I would be so fucking scared. And also, it's just like,
it'd be,
oh my God, I couldn't even imagine it, just because of how we get this together and like how our minds work. Like when we're like, when we're flowing, it's very different than.
Yeah. And like speaking of that,
collaborations.
We've had to find our flow, because now I think 75% of this podcast has been over Zoom, has been in a pandemic.
And
we
like
were starting, you know,
90%.
And like finding our, you know, our flow in recording an episode. We very much feed off each other, and that's like, especially our in-person energy. And like, I know I see your face right now, but like being in person, face to face, and there's a whole thing to that. And so we quickly had to adjust to like not seeing each other in person and being over a camera. And so to keep like finding our flow with those obstacles has been, I think it just proves that we can do this. We want to keep growing it.
I mean, we adapted like a motherfucker. Like, if anybody else that's listening that started a project that they normally wouldn't have, or it's like something brand new and they started it this year, like, let us know about your challenges, because like we know all about fucking adapting. Like, this was a year of adapting and like testing the limits to your I don't know, just losing all control and being okay with that. Because it's been such a journey for us. And I think this year, because, you know, vaccines will hopefully be out soonish, and it'll get better in Los Angeles, that we can see each other and get our guests face to face. Because like we've only like all of our guests have been on Zoom. Like, it's so funny.
I know. I think we had like 2 and 1 in person.
Yeah, this is going to be like a whole new year of adapting for us as things change. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Please keep promoting us and sharing us. We have goals for this year to grow, to get sponsors, to start making some money from it, to get a wider audience. So if you guys can, even our like posts or our stories, our little episode announcements, just like, it helps us so much if you guys share it to your story. If you feel like you care about what we have to say in that episode enough to share it to your story, please do, because it really helps us. Yeah. Any extra person we get to listen is huge for us. So thank you so much for your support, everybody.
Shout out to Black Lives Matter.
Yep, always.
Just go there, donate. I mean, fuck it.
Go there, give them all your money. Give them all your unemployment money.
Stimulus, your $2,000 from Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on YouTube. SOS with Molly and Alyssa. Go on Instagram at the SOS Pod. Go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you find your podcast. Rate us 5 stars. Review us. It's so good for us in the long run. Get us in other people's algorithms and shit.
Exactly. Really helps. Well, I'm Molly Cottrell.
And I'm Alyssa Rosano.
And here's to turning meltdowns into magic.